Making his way in the studio with us now is Josh Sneed. We have not seen since we did the, what was it, the comedy circus?
Circus, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can I tell you my idea for that and then what it became?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had a girl on the show one time. We have Pipsy
Pipsy Pinwheel.
Pinwheel. She's a girl. She's like kind of hot, but she's a clown. Like she does clown makeup.
Hot clown. You know the type.
And she can, I don't know what was talking. I was talking about a kid when I went to college that could put spaghetti in his nose and pull it out of his mouth. And then a bunch of people are like, oh, Pipsy can do that. Pipsy can do that. So Pipsy came in and she did that. And then she put like nails in her face and shot stuff out of her eyeballs. And she was just great. And I thought it would be great if we did. Do you remember, do you ever go to the Jim Rose Sideshow Circus? Do you know what that is?
No,
that popped up in the 90s with Lollapalooza when Pearl Jam and Soundgarden were and Ice Cube were all out on tour together at Lollapalooza. They also had the Jim Rose Sideshow Circus, and it was a modern day Barnum and Bailey, bearded ladies, tattooed face
Freaks,
guys. Yeah. So I thought it would be a good idea to combine comedy with that. But then Pipsy was unavailable that weekend. So then I tried to find some other. I found this girl, Rachel, who was completely flexible. She could put her head like between her own legs and do all that stuff. I found her on OnlyFans. And I was thinking about trying to bring her in, but I didn't really know what her talent would be. This girl could look at her own box.
when you can do that, it's hard to get them out of the house.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that was what I planned on doing it. But instead, we got 3 great comedians and just a bunch of weird.
And Canhead.
Canhead. Yeah, I forgot about Canhead.
I still don't believe Canhead's real.
I mean, he's real. I just don't know how talent. I don't know if we can all do the Canhead
Gio
thing.
was doing it.
Gio did it, yeah.
You know, the guy was in here who was doing it.
No one loved Canhead more than Canhead.
Oh, yeah.
He loved
Biggest
him
fan.
from Canhead. Yeah. So anyway, I hope it was not a bad experience. for
I
you.
had the absolute blast.
Oh, good.
The crowd
Okay.
was amazing. And I mean, Ian and Mike are just so funny.
Yeah. That was the thing. I've been very fortunate to, like, when we did the roast, I picked all these comics for the roast and got them all. And then when we did our first comedy show, I was like, these 3 guys I've been trying to do stuff with for years. If we can get 2 of them, would be great. We ended up with all 3 of you, so it worked out
That was
perfect.
great. I was like humbled to be a part of it. It was awesome.
Now, I must tell you, I must think about this once a month, that your father worked for what, Mattel or
Kenner.
Kenner? Yeah. I mean, how great was your life as a kid?
That was incredible. I was at every birthday party.
You'd all for
Giving
sure.
out prototypes.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, they were garbage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not until now we call them prototypes, but that's what I played with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because my dad was a model maker, so he was the one who was actually making the prototypes from the blueprint, and then they would mark it with a Sharpie, and then say, "Okay, we're going to make these tweaks. This is now garbage." So that's the thing that
So
I'm
you get the
throwing
garbage.
around in the
Yeah.
backyard. And at the time, that's what it was. It was garbage, and now
Besides-
it's called a first shot.
Besides Star Wars stuff, what are some of the things you remembered getting?
I got a lot of the stuff that he specifically worked on. So when they did the Ghostbusters cartoon,
Oh, wow.
they did the Batman Dark Knight series, a lot of the superpowers stuff.
So this is in the 90s.
This is 80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like my sister would get like strawberry shortcake and Care Bears and all kinds of stuff. It's toys that never made the light of day. That's what was crazy about the Star Wars stuff. I don't know if I've ever told you the story, but when I decided to quit my job to do comedy full time, I wanted like a fresh start financially. So I decided that's when I was going to sell my Star Wars collection. And I got a good price for it then. It's obviously worth a lot more now, but I took everything I had and I laid it out on my parents' like pool table in their basement.
Right.
And this guy from New York, this collector, flew to Cincinnati, and he was looking at all of it, and he's like, "I'll buy everything." And he goes, "Is there anything else?" And I was like, "Well, there's a little box of random stuff over there." And in that box were these 2 figures for the Ewoks cartoon that lasted 1 season, and they were prototypes for the 2nd season. And those 2 figures doubled the price that I was about to, and I thought they were garbage. Like because they weren't like,
So how did
they
you
weren't
know?
original Star Wars things.
How did you know though that to double the price on that? Like or did he just
Because
come
he
up with
freaked out.
Well, we had a guy there with us who was a guy that a lot of my dad's coworkers knew, that was like knowledgeable of what stuff was worth. So he was there to kind of like sort of broker the deal
Right.
and made sure we didn't get taken advantage of, because like it was like it's worth something, but we didn't know what.
Can you give us an idea of what you sold it for?
So initially, I was going to sell the whole collection for $6,000, and then
Okay.
I sold it for $12,000.
Wow.
Those two
Damn.
figures.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
You must have been thrilled.
Well, it's like, it's and I might have told you this story before. Like the thing that I keep going back to was when Return of the Jedi came out. It was originally supposed to be called Revenge of the Jedi,
Right.
and they changed the name of the movie. And the figures they came on, it was like the bubble over the figure, and then it was like a piece of cardboard that's how they came. Well, they had sheets of that cardboard already printed with Revenge of the Jedi that were now garbage, so they threw those in a dumpster. And my dad and all his coworker buddies, they're car guys, like that's all they did in their free time was like work on cars.
Right.
So he grabbed them out of the dumpster so he could use them in our garage to put down when we changed the oil, or when he changed the
Hilarious.
oil in our car to keep oil from getting on the garage floor. And those, we had at least 10 of them, and those things go for about 20 grand a sheet.
Oh my God.
oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I believe we have an original Star Wars poster back in the green room in the at the radio station.
Really?
In a frame, right, Joe?
No, that's at my house.
Yeah, smart,
really?
smart. Yeah. Well,
Well,
it used to be in the green
Yeah,
room.
well, I brought it in for a while, but then I'm like, no, I'm not leaving this here.
Yeah, yeah.
the closest I ever came to anything like that was the McDonald's in our town was a test McDonald's, so I got to try like the McPizza and different things, and they're like, this didn't work out, but
You won't be shocked to learn I would be just as excited.
it was pretty cool.
Star Wars toys.
That must have been so great. Like I just think about it, when we were kids, we'd scramble to find toys, and you getting stuff from the horse's mouth.
The best is he got picked every year to go to they have a toy fair in New York where all the companies come to show like what they're releasing the next year, and he would always get picked to go and help set up the display and everything. And he would bring back a catalog that for Kenner that everybody would get, like Toys R Us and all the stores. And
Right.
it just had everything that no one had seen
Oh,
yet.
really?
And so he'd bring that home, and I'd get to see like everything that was coming out that year.
That's pretty awesome.
No internet, no nothing. for
Right,
that.
right. That's great. Now I have so much garbage in this house that I would like to sell, and I don't even know where to start. Like what's stopping me is not knowing where to start. I have so much baseball memorabilia and so many autographed guitars and pictures, and I got to get rid of everything, because I thought about leaving it to my kids, but then after I had a parent die, I'm like, you don't want this garbage.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to deal with it. Now it's your headache to try and get rid of it.
Well, the way to start would be to get it authenticated if it's not already, to just have like Beckett or somebody like that say this is a real signature, because in autograph stuff, I feel like I'm being brought in as like an expert on collectibles.
Josh is also a comedian, by the way.
But no, this is what I'm into.
Yeah.
Because when I sold all the toys, like that stuff takes up a lot of room, like guitars and that sort of thing. So I've switched over to autograph collecting on like photos and prints, because you can keep them in a binder, and it's just it's way better. But I've learned that in that industry, forgery is like the biggest problem now. So as long as you can get it verified that it's real, it'll be a lot easier to sell. And then you just let eBay or a reputable auction house handle it for you, because it's only worth what someone will pay.
Right.
And so like we're talking about the death pool, right?
Yeah.
Like the time to sell is like right after someone passes away.
Yeah. I have at all the things I have, I probably have some stuff worth a ton of money, but one of the things I know that I had authenticated was I have a base that somebody made for me. It was a white base, and they put the Yankee NY on it in pinstripes. And then I got it signed by everybody on the team, everybody from the equipment guys to the general manager. Everybody signed it. Derek Jeter's on it, Rivera's on it, Teixeira's on it. Like they're all, it's amazing, and they're all signed on the pinstripe. So they each like signed on a line. So I had that authenticated. I couldn't even begin to tell you what that thing might be worth, and that's the one thing that I don't want to sell.
Yeah. Well, that's one you want to go through an auction house, because
That's
they are
one I think
going
my
to
grandkids
tell
will give away.
everyone that's a Yankees fan that thing's for sale.
Yeah. Oh man,
That one's worth. That's a prize. Like that's a thing that there's the one of one.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
one of a kind.
Like I have a picture of my son when he was like 3 at his first baseball game. He's holding a hot dog, and the hot dog's bigger than his whole body. It's like half his body length, and he's leaning forward in a seat, looking in the front row, looking out of the game. And Derek Jeter signed the picture at the bottom. That to me is worth $1 gazillion. Yeah. Nobody else wants a picture of my son and a hot dog signed by Derek Jeter, but that to me is going to be the thing that I want to keep.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff you can get rid of.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
the one thing you want to keep is the one thing nobody would want to buy.
Josh is an expert witness on merchandise. He's the guy Pawn Stars calls in when they have something to sell. How did you know that you were ready to commit to quitting your job and do comedy? Like, were you just making enough money, or you're like, I have to? There's only one way to do it.
Well, I had a good job, which was it was a good thing for me looking back, because like it was a job that I went to school my whole life to try to get, working for Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati. And so what it did was it forced me to wait until I knew I was ready to be a full-time comic, because I knew what I would be giving up to try it. And so I was kind of on the fence about when to leave, and then they announced that they were going to have cutbacks. And my job was safe, but they, whenever they do like a company-wide type thing, they say, all right, before we say who has to go, who wants to go?
Oh.
And so I was like, I'll take a year's salary and benefits.
Oh, did they give you a good package?
Yeah, I got a good severance package, and that's what I needed to bridge that time of like really getting going.
Yeah.
And that first 6 months, I was like working maybe once a week, but it was getting your foot in the door the first time that was a hard part. And then I met this lady in South Bend, Indiana, that ran the comedy club up there, and I was like, if a comedy club owner calls a club, you get in. But if you're a comedian that calls, they will not take your call.
Right.
Like you have to have an in. So when she was calling, people would take her call and they'd give me a week. And that first year, which was 2002, I worked 50 out of 52 weeks on the road that year.
Wow, that's great.
And that was like the jump start that I needed. So